Hello, John McConnon here. I'm turning off my phone, although you may hear a ringer because sometimes people call on Google Voice. I've got about 15 minutes here before I get a hair. Pick up my son from baseball practice and get my hair cut. I'm going to do this. I'm going to try to do this in 5. This is about how to sell your home for more money and for a higher net. Now, you've probably seen this as a pitch for realtors over and over and over. And then they'll say, here, sign up for this and you'll get that. Well, I'm going to present a book that you can sign up for. If you want more information, you can download for free. But this isn't about the book. I'm going to tell you right now what it is. There's 2 things. It's about driving traffic to your property. Secondly, it's about motivating buyers to purchase your property. So one way you can sell your home fast is to offer it at a low price. Now, not everybody, very few people, no, some people do want to go for that because they're motivated. They have reasons to sell. So you can lower your price and you're going to sell fast. You can also drive a lot of traffic to your property and sell fast. And how do you drive a lot of traffic to your property? Well, I've done this for my own properties. We've done it for investment properties. We did it for most recently a client's property in La Jolla. He was trying to get the top of the range, maybe even a little high because his property was special. Didn't necessarily show up in the comps, but it was up a big hill with a great view and it was on a flat spot. But he fixed it up really nice. It cost him a lot of money. And he was trying to get the top of the range. And his previous realtor didn't get it. I said, we've got to incentivize the buyer's agents. When you've got sellers paying too much, they frequently are, they get buyer's remorse, and even more so because they're worried they're paying too much. And objectively, the comps might even show them that. And there's nothing, every transaction buyers go through remorseful areas and they can make very difficult decisions, even slowly or not at all. And it helps in those circumstances to have a buyer's agent who's really committed to the process of buyer education and actually doing the extra work, the negotiating, the talking to the seller's agents. In our case, we even let them communicate with the seller directly so that they can feel comfortable with the deal. And believe me, we know the buyer's agent was motivated by the extra money because he wanted to make sure that was written into the contract and everything else. So what I'm telling you is one way to sell your home for a higher net. And if you can get 5, 10, 8% higher in your property and you want to pay a realtor, a buyer's agent, 1% more than you would have, that 1% can mean a lot to the buyer's agent, and it probably can result in a higher net to you. Let's say you had I'm going to just pick around numbers. So let's say you had $1 million property. Let's make it $100,000. We're making it really simple. We know most people are going to have more than $100,000 property who are listening to this video in California, but let's say $100,000 property. Normally, you're going to be paying a listing commission of about 6%, 3%, usually the way it's broken down. Maybe it's 3.5, 2.5. Listing agent might keep more of it, but normally it'd be about 6%. Sometimes you can negotiate down to 5. I'm a lawyer and a realtor. You're welcome to negotiate with me. I always laugh when I hear realtor training materials where they talk about, you shouldn't negotiate with your buyers and sellers. And one of your answers is, do you negotiate with your doctor or do you negotiate with your lawyer? And I can tell you that people negotiate with lawyers and their fees all the time. It's constant. Just like, when you walk into a doctor with a cash price or an insurance price, you're like, hey, I'm paying cash. Can I pay for less? So yes, people negotiate with doctors, people negotiate with lawyers, and people should negotiate with their realtors. I mean, if you're making your house attractive by pricing it very low, and the realtor's not going to do a lot of work on the marketing, he doesn't need to make as much money. All day long, I'd sell. You take 1% off my listing fee, but you make your house easy to sell. We can sell in a week or 2. Boom. Less time spent between the buyer and the seller, less time spent communicating with buyers agents, with buyers, less time going out to the house, doing open houses, putting stuff flyers in the mail, less mailings. I mean, when you sell a house at a low price at a moose fast, boom, we're all over it. Negotiate with me. But what I'm saying is that let's say it's 6%. So that's $6,000 in costs plus maybe a little more than 1% in transactions. So, you might net $93,000 on a $100,000 sale. Now, again, a buyer, let's say your price is $100,000, a buyer's going to come in and try to buy it for $95 most of the time, or $90, and lowball offers, your property's not in good shape. Now, what I noticed is when you offer, instead of 3% to the buyer's side, or 2.5%, as some realtors will do, but 3, you go to 3.5, 4. If you offer 4% to a buyer and you have your realtor send emails, present that information at the at the sales meetings, the weekly caravan sales meetings. Maybe even contact the agents who have done transactions recently in the area and say, hey, sales and buyers, and say, hey, we're offering an extra incentive on this property. So if you found if a buyer's not buying the property you're selling, bring them over here. So you've got to let the agents know, not just on the MLS, but let them know that you are offering more money. You will be surprised how often a close to $100,000, a close to full price offer is going to come out. It's going to be presented to you. Agents are motivated to bring their good buyers to those properties, and the agent's not necessarily motivated to do a lot of negotiating and blow up the deal. So they're going to bring their good buyers. That's probably, hopefully, one of the main reasons so often we see almost full price. I mean, we're talking like in $600,000-$700,000 properties, we're talking coming in $2,000 or $3,000 under full price. So they act like they did some negotiating. Very, very. I cannot tell you how many times that's happened in my practice. Almost full price offers come in, and we are also able. Not every house. If your house is a piece of junk, you're not going to sell it for the top of the range. Probably, no matter how motivated the buyer's agent is, you should be happy to sell it for a good price in those circumstances. And I'm just saying that across the board, across all the transactions we've done this on, I don't like to throw away money, but I offer buyer's agents more. I have done it, and not always, but sometimes I just know my property's not going to get any more, so let's just do it to 2.5 because this is the price. Boom, we know because the next door neighbor sold for there. Our house isn't much better or whatever. But on many properties, on all the properties I've sold so far that I can think of, I've offered incentives. And my properties in my practice, on non-short sale ones, we offer that extra incentive a lot, and we see it work all the time. So so what I'm saying is that you want to offer 4%. Now, is your listing agent going to be happy knocking his commission down from 3 or 2.5 down to 1.5 or 2? No, probably not. I mean, that's a negotiation. Now, let me just tell you, I provided this video. I told you why I'm incentivized to sell properties quickly. So I might be the person you want to talk to. In addition to, well, if you go to Cal Law Realty, where I'll put more information about this and a link to where you can sign up to get the book. Right now, I'll just tell you right now, you can get a copy of the book that explains all this. It's from a friend of mine, Matt Jones. I was once of counsel to his company. He's an internet lead generator. He owns a brokerage in Fayetteville, North Carolina. He had stats on his properties when he was charging 4% to vote. He was charging 4 to his clients and offering 4 to buyer's agents. So he's taking an 8% commission, and had the stats to show why his clients were netting more than anybody else's clients and how fast his properties were selling in North Carolina. And he wrote a book about it. I happened to, when he was doing internet lead generation, he still is. He was in negotiations with companies to buy him or buy them. I was a lawyer recently, this was 2003 or 4 when I met him. I had been a lawyer prior to that. I still am a lawyer, but I've been working as a lawyer prior to that. And, he flew me down to North Carolina. He came down to visit me, came over to visit me. And I did some advising and reviewing offers with him. And he put me on his website as of counsel. Told me about what he was doing in his strategy, and I started selling my own properties that way. And I will send you his book. It's a great read, and all you got to do is download it. Right now it's at traffic.homeprices.expert. I'm looking at it over there. Traffic.homeprices.expert. You go there and you'll see a form, you download it, and the book will shoot the book right over to you. It should arrive in your email very quickly. I have it on sort of an autoresponder situation. However, I will also, I'm going to go over the other thing. Now, there are some people who are like, well, what if I sell the property myself? Won't I get a higher net? I don't think that you will. I think for most people, when the Wall Street guys, whoever, when they're financing big projects, little projects, they frequently pay the broker who brings in commercial real estate. They'll pay the broker who brings the buyer in on the deal fees from 1 to 7%. 2.5, you hear a lot, 3, 4, 5, because they know that if they have a lot of people bringing the money people in the deal, they're going to get better terms. They're going to get better money. So I think you want to cast a wide net and have the motivated agents with motivated buyers, and frequently relocation buyers, people who have to buy quickly. They're going to bring those people who are ready to buy your home. I think that is a very important buyer pool to tap that when you're selling your home on your own, you might not be able to tap as well. But there are other people. There's another part of a motivated buyer pool, which would be local buyers, people local to your community or motivated for your property, who just need to know about it. Like, you want to emphasize what's great about your property, and hopefully the people in your neighborhood know it, and maybe some people want to live near their relatives, whatever. So another part of that buyer pool, or the motivated buyers, would be people who want to live specifically in your home, who like the school system, the views, the neighbors, relatives, and you want to market to those people. Now, if you're going to sell your home on your own, I still think there's a great reason to bring a lawyer in, because I can tell you buyers offer more money when they're represented in general, but very, very, I tried to sell my own home once prior to meeting Matt. I sold the same home for $40,000 more. A week later to a buyer, I couldn't get him to sign a contract on my home when I was selling it on my own. I put it on the market with a realtor, and he came in, that same buyer paid $40,000 more dollars than he could have a week earlier, when he realized there were other buyers willing to pay. I mean, obviously we didn't open house, and all of a sudden we had a lot of buyers, and the buyer I spoke to on my own wound up paying $40,000 more. So you comfortable buyers represented frequently are willing to pay more, closer to the top dollar. They feel uncomfortable and they're not represented. So I think if you bring in a listing broker in that circumstance, or a lawyer, and offer to have the buyer represented, and you do local marketing, you may get a chance to sell your home for a high overall net, because you save that 4% you're offering the buyer's agent. Overall, I think that 4% is going to work great for. I still think in that scenario, you're still likely, whatever number you might get from the local pool, if you put it out there, a bigger pool, and bring everybody in on a sales weekend, both the local people and the outside people, you have an open house. I mean, you're really going to net the biggest money that way. But some people don't want to do that. If you want to not pay the 4%, well, tell you what, I'm going to do other videos, but you can contact me, John at CALAWrealty.com, or John at favoriterealestate.com, or just call me, 760-896-4663. I have other numbers on my website. They all work. Give me a call, and no cost consultation. I'll tell you what I think are the best ways to sell your home on your own for the highest net. I can tell you, in addition to those things I tell you, if people are hiring me to be their listing agent, I would also offer 4% to the buyer side. And you really might be interested in reading that book. So I'll put a link to Cal Law Realty, where you can get that link on the website. I'll put this video up on Cal Law Realty too. And remember, right now, before it's there, you can also go to traffic.homeprices.net. So that's John McConnon, showing realtor attorney, showing you how to, because of his own experience, is telling you will get a higher net if you're offering 4% to the buyer side. And if you're not interested in doing 4%, you might want to consider, maybe for the first 3 weeks or first month, sort of like a pre-MLS situation, selling it locally with local marketing. You can also get that done. So thanks for coming to the website. I will talk to you later. Bye.